Well, hello everybody, and welcome to a very different tea time with Amber and special guest Carrie James.
Hi everybody.
And Autumn.
And Autumn.
We thought since it's such a beautiful day and we don't get a lot of time to spend outdoors in summer enjoying this, we would bring you to the river, to one of my favorite places just to kind of unwind and enjoy. And so it was Carrie James' birthday on Friday. So happy belated birthday to Carrie.
38 years young.
Oh man, you don't look a day over 40.
Thank you, I'll take it. No, sometimes it's baffling to me how long we've been doing this together as a team, and I can't believe that 18 years has passed already.
I remember Carrie when he was in his early 20s and a little bit more reckless, maybe a little bit more... You've matured a lot.
I have.
Not just in the grays that you have received, but you definitely have matured.
I have been coming around slowly but surely to being a well-rounded human being.
Can I tell the out for dinner story?
Yes, of course you can. Of course you
I
can.
have to ask because, sometimes people don't want you to know about things they do in their past, but back in season 2, so this is like 2009, I was out for dinner with Carrie and Cindy and Graham. And nice restaurant, classy place. Carrie really enjoyed his meal. Like we were still mostly way through the rest of ours, and Carrie just finished it right away. And we look over, and he's picked up his plate, and he's licking his plate clean. Yes.
I wasn't raised with culture, okay? And
I just remember Cindy and I looking over at him, and we're like, "What are you doing?"
It was Graham that snapped the most. He was like, "No, stop right now." He's like, "That is unacceptable behavior in a restaurant." I was like, well, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "I really like it," but yeah.
You were definitely your own person, and you you still are. You very much live by your own set of rules, which I admire about you. But I think you have learned over the years, maybe not learned, but you have become more aware of your impact on those around you.
Yes, I'd say it's a really, really good way of articulating it.
Yeah, and you're a pleasure to be around. You're always a good time, you're fun, and you don't lick your plate when we're out in public anymore.
No, I've learned that lesson. Once Graham Wardle snaps at you, you kind of...
Oh yeah.
That's enough. All right, he's right. He's right.
He really snaps. Right. He's like, he gets really angry. Go to.
Yeah, actually, it's one of the things I've been most fortunate. I acknowledge, I've definitely had some major growth pains through life, and one of the things I'm most grateful for with being a part of this project is that this production and the people that are part of our lives were patient with me. But I also realized that along the way, that people were being patient with me, and that I was like, I should probably step up, be on everyone else's level.
That's maturity right there. That is, and I think too, it's not very often that you're in a position of work where you're with the same group of people for almost 2 decades, right? There's a lot of occupational turnover. And so to say that we've been with a lot of the same people and been friends with those people for almost 2 decades is almost unheard of. And it's something special. And it also goes to tell you what kind of people make up this show.
Yes.
Right? Because I know a lot of different workplaces where, you say, "Oh, I'm getting together, it's a work party," and you go, "Oh, that must be awful. You have to hang out with the people you work with." And yet we choose to hang out with the people we work with. So that's something special in itself. And I think that says a lot about the atmosphere of Heartland and the group of people that make up the show.
That's what I do think makes it so special. It's completely unique because we've broken so many boundaries around what a traditional workplace is.
That's true.
And I'm grateful for it.
Don't you think the animals help? I don't know if you can see this beautiful face in the frame right now, but there's something very calming about the presence of animals in a workplace. And to be able to work with animals every day and have animals on set, whether they're on camera or not.
And just people being allowed to bring their animals to work.
Yeah.
We got dogs running around the circus all day long.
Like you.
Yes, you pretty girl.
She's a suck. And she just went in the river, which this is such a great place to be able to come and hang out in the afternoon and bring dog friends, because when it's hot, they can jump in. And I know you're dying to go in the water.
I cannot wait.
Carrie's like, "Can I jump in first and just walk up all soaking wet?" And I was like, "I guess so, if that's what you want." But I think we're gonna go.
This is my second time here. Actually, we had my birthday celebration along with our good friend Danielle's down here last year as well.
So a cool thing, fun side fact, Thank you for getting me all dirty. I have spent the last 5 birthdays with you.
Yeah, I've been out here every year for them.
So that's really cool, and probably more before that, but I know 5 consecutive birthdays. The first year we went on a ride, you and me and a couple of my girlfriends.
Yeah.
And I think you rode Hippie, because I've got a video of you like going up the hill.
That
on
was Hippie for sure.
And that was a fun day. You're so adventurous on horses, and that's one thing I love about you is sometimes, because you don't ride a ton.
No.
Right? You're only on a horse a few times a year.
4 or 5 times a year. That's about it.
And I just remember there was like this steep embankment going down to the river, and all of us, and the people we were with ride every day, lots. And we're kind of picking and choosing. We're like, oh, where can we go down? And we look over and Carrie just like, whoom, just like jumps the horse down the embankment, goes through the river. And I was like, okay, guess we're going that way.
I love the horses so much. And like I said, I don't get to spend a ton of time with them, but like with Hippie and Slider that I've kind of gotten to know over the last few years together, I have such confidence in him.
Yeah.
And so really, to this day, as an amateur rider, a confident amateur rider,
Yep.
I still, and with the new actors on the show and that are new, as silly as this sounds, the best advice I can give them is consider yourself a very polite backpack and everything will be fine. And that is how
I've never heard of that.
That is how I treat it, yeah.
Because when you put your trust and your faith in the horse that's carrying you,
Yeah.
then you're just basically an accessory to them, and they know where to put their feet. They know where to go.
He doesn't want to fall, so
Yeah.
I trust that.
Oh, I love that. That's really cool. So that was the one birthday. The second birthday, we went on a ride. We actually went behind the scenes right now. We have downtown Katie Brown. She's helping us figure things out. And another special guest. Should we mention who else is behind the curtain? G-Dub. Graham Wolver's in the house. So we've got our tech team, because I'm not techie, so I have to bring in the tech team. I'm like silly things, like I don't even know passwords to things. I'm like, you guys got to help me out. I don't know how to log in. But here I am, and this is my happy place, right? Autumn, you're getting me so.
Yeah, we're dirty and muddy from Autumn now.
Okay, river water everywhere. Yeah,
that's one thing that I'm super grateful to you and Sean for. Sean Turner, her husband, he's the man, one of my best friends. They let me tag along with them all the time. They take me to these incredible spaces.
He's our child.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as like the family dog. I go on all the adventures. Like, it's awesome. So grateful to Amber and Sean.
Yeah, you are. You're like a golden retriever.
Yeah,
You're just like happy to come along.
Exactly.
And, you're essentially Autumn. This is great. Was what? What kind of dog would I be? I don't know.
Would I be?
You'd be like a golden retriever.
I'd be a golden retriever.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would be. Something majestic. You know what? We're going a Texas Whir. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like an offshoot of Ridgeback. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I like that. I think I'd be something that's like got a bit of the like border collie, like has to be doing something all the time. But then, I don't know what I would. I would definitely be a mutt. Like, I don't think I would be a purebred dog.
Yeah, full Heinz 57. There's no purebred blood here. Not happening.
So then another birthday, we went for a ride with Katie Brown and Mark.
Yep.
And that was super fun. There are some videos floating around from that day, because that was a lot of fun. It was out in this area, actually.
And then a few days later, you let me cross another bucket list item off my list.
What was that?
You let me go in the lake on Hawk.
Oh,
remember that?
On cruise.
On cruise.
That's right.
That was
and so we went out to
incredible.
Rafter 6, and we went riding, and Barrier Lake there is so beautiful. I should do like photos after this on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Because like that's fun to relive. And I went out swimming, and Carrie was on, who you were on?
I think I was on
Hippie
Hippie that time.
And I was like, I don't want to get Sean's saddle all wet. And so I was like, why don't you just jump on Cruz? And he went off and swam, and there's some cool shots of, because Cruz didn't really know how to swim very well, so he kind of like dolphins.
Dude, he was like a seahorse. He just came right up, and
seahorse,
it was
that's perfect.
Incredible.
And so there's some cool pictures and videos of that. And then last year, we came out to this very same spot. A few of my friends share a birthday weekend with you.
Yep.
So we've kind of now made it an annual camping trip. So we come out here and bring the kid and the dog.
The kid and the dog?
and pitch a tent and just enjoy the space because it's a really, really nice space. Good group of people.
It's funny how we like to relax and enjoy doing the things that like our characters actually would on the weekend, just coming to these beautiful spaces.
We didn't bring horses though, so
No,
it's not
not
very
this
Amy
time.
Fleming, but I have brought horses here. And there's been a few times that we camp out in this spot and we just make a little pen for the horses and then we can go for a ride.
Oh my God, that must be fun.
It's pretty cool. I have to say, I enjoy every minute of summer because it's so short in Alberta. Our summer season is really only from this. We didn't even have June this year, so it started in July is when it got hot enough to actually be doing things outdoors. We still had snow in June, believe it or not. For those of you who aren't from this area and this climate. It was a very cold, wet, rainy, snowy spring. And then July's been hot, super hot.
We've been reaping the rewards of all that rain though, because it's so green and beautiful.
Very lush. Lots of good hay crop this year. Lots of like that. We needed that because the last few years have been really, really dry. And so August, I'm just hoping that we're going to have a beautiful August because we deserve it. We only get 2 months of summer. So
we straight up do deserve it.
yeah, I feel like let's make these months count. We're right in the middle of filming season 18, so lots of fun twists and turns going on. The Amy-Caleb relationship has been really fun this year. One of my favorite days, and like you have been on it. Like your acting is so good this year. Every time I'm in a scene with you, I'm in my head because I'm like, it's so sad, it's cute, and it's lovely, and
Good.
yeah, all those things. So there's some really great.
I've been working very hard.
I can tell.
Yeah.
No, but I really can tell because it's powerful stuff.
I'm really excited for the fans to see this year, and I haven't said anything about it. Like I had no real clues, nothing. I promise you that when you watch it though, if you think you know where it's going, you're gonna be wrong.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's twists, and it's fun.
Yeah, there are. And there was things. So at the end of every year, I get together with the writers and we kind of talk about arcing. If there's going to be a next season, we talk about what we'd want to see happen. And but this previous season, at the end of season 17, I gave you a call and I was like, hey, I'm going to go in. Like, is there anything that you specifically want to see Caleb do in season 18? And you gave me an awesome list of stuff. Like when I read it, I was like, this is so cool. I'm excited to bring this to the writers. And I took it to our showrunner, Mark, and he loved it. And so many of the things that Caleb does in this season came from you.
I'm actually really proud of that.
Yeah.
And the proudest contribution for me this year, because I love Heartland so much, and I love that I'm being offered little opportunities to sort of evolve into being a part of it more, and getting to know Mark, our new showrunner, a lot better in that. I actually pitched a storyline for Nathan.
Did you?
That made it in.
No way.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything,
no,
but
tell me after, because now I'm curious.
and Mark loved it, and so I was like, yes, I helped the scope of the show a tiny bit,
cool.
but I
But
feel
all the
honored.
stuff that you pitched for Caleb, I thought was really unique and really character building and good stuff.
Great,
And
good.
It's going to be episode 1, or no, it's episode 2 when you first come in this year, I believe. Is that right?
Episode 2.
It's cool. Like, I'm not going to give anything away, but I think that it's something that's you're going to be like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I think it is too. I think people are going to love it. And I think it opens a lot of interesting doors for places to go.
I do too. And we get to see some characters revisit from the past, so that's really cool this season. You specifically get to interact with a character that's from your past, which is really, really cool. I'm not saying anything more than that.
Can't say anything more than that.
But overall, I think that the season has gone by pretty fast. You know, I always say at the beginning, I'm like, okay, so we've got 4 months ahead, and now we're just entering into our last block. So we're starting the last 2 episodes coming up here next week.
I've been having so much fun this year. It feels like I blinked and it just went by.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been hard, that actually.
Yeah. So I think it might be good to open up to some questions if you guys have.
Sharon from YouTube wants to know what your cows and horses do during the hailstorm.
Oh, that's a very good question. So Sharon from Instagram wants to know, YouTube wants to know what the livestock, cows and horses and the animals do during a hailstorm. I posted yesterday that we had quite the hailstorm. It
Holy
came out
smokes.
of nowhere too. It was this beautiful, nice, warm day, and all of a sudden the sky just turned black, and I looked up and I was like, I think it's gonna hail. And then within like seconds, I'd put my chickens away. So my chickens are in a covered coop. So I put them all away. I get up to the porch and and we have a tin roof. So it just sounded like we were under attack. Like it was just pelting the roof. But the animals all have shelters with roofs on them, tin roof on them. So I watched the horses. They knew before I did what was going to happen.
What was about to happen.
And they were wandering in because they're out on pasture right now. So I watched them wander up close to the house, and they all kind of like stood in the shelters with their heads under cover. And the cows are out in the big fields, and they went into the trees. Like they like to go into the dense trees and just kind of hunker down in there. So they take shelter. And I mean, I went out in it because I was like, this is so cool. And the hail wasn't big enough that it was painful. So even if they were out in it, it's just like uncomfortable. But I thought it was kind of cool because
we ran out in it too. It was spectacular.
It was kind of neat.
Except I left my cowboy boots on the deck.
This was funny.
And they got filled with hail.
So Carrie's staying at our house right now for the weekend, and I was like, you don't need to wear your cowboy boots with shorts. I was like, why don't I lend you some sandals? Sean lend you some sandals. And so he grabs the sandals, he puts his boots out on the porch, and I went out after, and they were full, like right to the like mid of his boot with hail. And I picked them up, dumped out all the hail, and I tipped them upside down. I was like, sorry, you might not be able to wear your boots today. They're a little bit wet.
Yeah, needs a couple days to dry.
Yeah. But yeah, we've been having a good time. And, we got another question.
Emma from YouTube says, happy birthday, Carrie. What's your favorite Heartland memory?
Oh, thank you, Emma. My favorite Heartland memory, I think, would have to be still some of the shenanigans I got into with Graham. There was one scene specifically where it was like an episode, Ty and Caleb get into a bar fight, and then the next morning, Amy comes and picks them up.
Yeah.
So we were arrested. That's scene
right.
And how much fun we were all having in it, and just the way we played it. That's actually my favorite memory.
I forgot about that scene until just now, but I came in Grandpa Jack's truck, I think, because it was the single cab, and you guys were sitting in the middle or something?
I think so Caleb gets in the middle because Amy's mad at Ty, and Ty's
right.
sheepish over in the
That's
side.
right.
And I get in the middle, I'm like, oh, let's go home now, or something, and that was it. And
we filmed that in High River.
It was just being with you two, and I felt like that moment also honored a lot of the weekends we'd had as kids together.
Yes. We didn't get arrested.
Let's
just say that. But yes, you're right. We had a lot of fun. And I think there's something to be said about a group of young people getting together. And like, we didn't know each other before Heartland, but we were all from outside of Alberta. So we were brought together. We didn't know anyone except each other. And we were all in our early 20s. And so it was such a good bonding time, because it's like, here's these new group of people. I have this show in common with them. We're working together. Production had rented us apartments downtown Calgary. So we were all hanging out together. And I have to say, like, I didn't go to college or university, but I equivalent. I didn't go to university. I equivalate. I feel like that time of my life was what a lot of my friends speak of their university years.
That's what it was for me too.
Because it's like they're in dorms, they're away from home, they're hanging out with new people that they've just met because of their university.
Yep.
We were doing the same thing.
That was exactly that.
Except
we were working.
Yeah. Except we were making money, not spending it.
Right. Hey, and that said, she might not have gone to university, but this woman is like the number one entrepreneur I know. Yeah, she's.
Oh man.
Thank you. You're pretty bright.
I don't know about bright.
I don't even know what they're talking about half the time.
I'm not bright. I'm just very stubborn and motivated.
Tenacity.
Yeah. It's like you don't have to know everything. You just have to want to figure it all out, I guess, is the way I live my life. I'm like, I don't know how to build a fence, but I'm going to get out there and I'm going to try until it's built.
Seems to work every time.
Yeah. Okay, another question.
So this one's for you, Amber. It's from Brooke Weimer on YouTube. She wants to know, when you and Sean Johnson sing on the show, who picks the song?
Oh, that's a good question. So, Brooke.
How do you choose it to fit with the scene?
Okay, Brooke, hello, and thanks for coming out to our fan day. Saw you out there a couple weeks ago. And so the question was, how are the songs chosen that for the scene that Grandpa Jack and Amy sing on the show? And a lot of it has to do with Sean Johnston. He has actually written most of them. So most of the songs that Amy and Jack sing are written by Grandpa Jack. And we kind of get together and he says, I'm thinking this, and sometimes the lyrics are written by Heather Conkey, Mark Haroon, like our actual writers for the show. And then Sean will put the music to them. And he'll sit down with me and he's like, I'm thinking this, but what do you think? And then I'll just start kind of singing to it and see what works for my voice and what works together. And we have fun with it. So I would say it's a collaboration, but the idea for the songs come from our showrunners. So in the past it was Heather Conkey, now it's Mark Haroon. And they kind of take an idea and give it to Sean, and then he runs with it, and then I just join in halfway through and say, oh, this is cool, I'll do this.
And Sean clearly loves doing it.
He absolutely does, and he really takes it upon himself to make it right. Mm-hmm. You know, he wants it to be right for the show, right for his character, right for him and I to sing together. And so it is definitely a collaboration, but I think overall the idea for the songs come from who writes that episode, and then from there it's just kind of a mix of all of us doing it together.
Well, I've always really enjoyed those scenes because I usually just get to sit back.
Yeah, and you've been there for most of them.
Sing.
Like,
yeah,
I think about it because
wonderful.
Amy and Jack sang at Caleb and Ashley's wedding.
That's right. Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and Caleb, we got to sit there with Ashley, and we just got this beautiful show. And then
last year you were there, or 2 years ago you were there for the bar.
And then Tim's wedding again. And you guys sang there as well.
Yeah, Caleb's been there for a lot of like really nice moments.
Just in the family dog in the BG.
All right, our next question.
This one's from...
We have to strain to hear over the river because it's really loud.
For you, Carrie, from Dia on YouTube. Are you also filming The Way Home?
I am. Hi, Dia. Thanks for the question. Yeah, so that show, it's been very, very convenient.
Say it again so they know what you're talking about.
Oh, The Way Home, the other show that I'm a part of right now. So our old showrunner who helped create Heartland, Heather Conkey, her and her daughter started another show 3 years ago in Toronto called The Way Home, starring Andy McDowell and Kyler Lee. And Heather I owe that woman a lot. So she basically, I still auditioned for the part, but they more or less just brought me in. And it's a role sort of equivalent to the size of Caleb. And it's been a huge blessing in terms of just like, you know, being a person who has to work and earn money. It's been really nice. And it's been very convenient because the last couple of years, Heartland has ended just before the other show starts. So it's been a perfect little window of time.
And they also are very accommodating.
Yes, they are.
When you're working on both shows, they try to make it work.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. I'm very, very grateful to Heather and Alex.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, what's the river behind you?
The river. I can't tell you. It's a secret location. But this is the Highwood River, actually. So it flows down. It's a glacier-fed river, so it is cold. For those of you who have never swam in a northern Canadian river,
Yeah.
very, very chilly. Like when you jump in, it feels like knives stabbing you. It's lovely. But it's like a cold plunge, right? And then you feel so good after. And so yeah, I'm excited to go take a jump in after. And then when you get out, you feel warm because it's like the air temperature is so much warmer than the water. And we don't get a lot of chance to go swimming in the summer just because we don't have a lot of summer heat. But it's been really nice the last few weeks, so I'm looking forward
it's
to
a
going for a swim.
nice air temperature for this.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's from Valentina.
Oh, your dog's talking?
What's your favorite Amy and Caleb moment?
My favorite Amy and Caleb moment. Jeez. You know what? The scene in the hotel room last year.
Yeah,
and
that would be mine too.
It was just fun. I felt I was having a lot of fun with you. The crew, everyone was laughing. Everyone was playful. And
we made that scene our own. Like
we did.
I feel like it was and Carrie chose to take his hat off and put it on my head and like fall through the window.
It was a lot of fun.
And it's just like the whole thing, and then leading up to it too, and then for those of you who haven't seen it, there might be a spoiler here, but so then Amy and Caleb are eating pizza on the bed and like having a good time, and then Caleb maybe mistakes a moment, leans in for a kiss, and then perfect timing, knock, knock, knock. Bachelor number 2 is at the door.
It was a
And
great scene.
the whole thing was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really
And
was.
You're right, we had a ton of laughs, and it was a different location for us too, which in 18 years of filming Heartland, the majority of our locations have been the same. We've
Yeah.
been at the studio, we've been at the Heartland Ranch, the Dude Ranch, you know, we have Maggie's Diner. And so when we get to film somewhere else, it brings a whole new life to it
Yeah, it
because it's
does.
new, it's fresh. It's, you know, you think about it, 18 years is a long time, and you get to go on a field trip, and you're
And
like,
it was like this
"Oh, this is
seedy little
cool."
roadside hotel. Like
Yeah.
it has a certain mystique and charm about it.
Yeah.
Just being there.
Yeah, it was super fun. We got some,
A couple fishermen down here
Fishermen?
with us today.
yeah.
You guys want to hear?
Lisa on YouTube wants to know, will Autumn be part of this season of Heartland?
Aww. So the question is, will Autumn be a part of this season of Heartland?
Hey, pretty
Not
girl.
this season, but she is such a good girl, and we didn't want to introduce a new dog yet because we just introduced Molly, who is Nathan's dog, and it's a different dynamic having a dog on set because the horses are pretty easy. You know, you just tie them in the background. Dogs come with a whole other array of things.
They're children, right? They need
are
a lot
children,
more.
and so they just wanted to keep one dog on set for this year. But I really believe that Autumn would be a perfect Heartland dog. That's just because she's my child, and I, of course, think she's wonderful. But she's got the right personality for it. She's very chill. She loves people. Likes to just lay there and hang out.
She has the most beautiful smiling
I don't know
eyes.
if you can see her now, but she's laying right
Hey,
behind
sweetie.
us. So yeah, maybe if Heartland goes on for many more seasons, we'll see Autumn on the show. I hope so.
I
That'd
hope
be fun.
so too.
Do you each have a dream episode of Heartland? This is from In the Saddle on YouTube.
Okay, In the Saddle on YouTube asks if we have a dream episode of Heartland, like one that we have never shot but we want to. Yeah.
Yes. Are you guys familiar
Yes.
with BoJack Horseman, the cartoon? I want BoJack Horseman to need to be rescued by Amy Fleming. Like, I want Amy Fleming to help BoJack Horseman, the animated horse, deal with his existential crisis and
Have you
alcoholism.
thought about this?
Yeah, no, I've put a lot of thought into this. That I've actually pitched it to Jerry Sabinski, one of our editors, that we should cut together a clip show using existing footage.
Okay.
Now, so if you don't know who BoJack Horseman is,
I'm
Google
excited
it,
for
and
this
then it'll
episode.
all make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I have not thought about this because when I have an episode that I really want to do, I usually take it to the writers and then we do it.
And then
And
you
it's
do
been
it.
18 years of, you know, doing
Mine are all
different
jokes,
things.
so.
Money was no issue.
Oh, you could do whatever you want. Okay,
Oh.
so Graham just said if money was no issue and you could do any episode, I would like to do a destination. Just like we were talking about how it's fun to go to a new place.
Yep.
Like the Heartland family goes to Hawaii.
Amy and
Would
Caleb
be
saves
so
the whales.
Fun.
We're going to Hawaii to save some humpbacks.
Okay, I'm down. I just think it would be so much fun. So years ago, Sean and I went on a vacation to Hawaii with good friends of ours, the Ericksons, and so Tom Erickson is our stunt coordinator on Heartland, and he's been our stunt coordinator since the very beginning. Like the most cowboy, rugged dude, never ever has worn shorts in his life.
No.
Like always jeans. And so there was a big team roping competition in Hawaii. So Tom Erickson's like, I'm gonna take my boys and we're gonna go down to this team roping. Do you and Sean wanna come? Like Sean can rope. And so we're like, yeah, that'll be fun. And that's exactly what I pictured. That trip is what I pictured the Heartland family in Hawaii, because Tom Erickson walked out the first day in shorts and I have never seen
I
legs
bet that
that
must have
white.
been weird.
It was
yeah.
so bizarre. I was like, oh, they're like your legs. Like, you know when you have those little toys as kids where they're like, you can switch the shirt and the pants and the shoes and the head? It was like somebody took a different pair of torso down to his feet and just put it, it was like, oh, okay. So that's what I picture Grandpa Jack looking like on a beach somewhere. But it was really fun. And we went surfing and we did all the Hawaii beach things. So that would be my dream episode, would be the Heartland family goes to Hawaii. And maybe it is for a team roping, because that makes sense.
That would make
Tim
sense.
and Jack could be team roping, and it would be a lot of fun.
God, I hope they let me be in that episode.
Yes, let's pitch it.
Let's pitch it. Heartland in Hawaii.
Okay, this is a question for me.
Oh, can you come out? Come, yeah,
Trapped.
come out. They're in a tent. So I would like to welcome to the floor downtown Katie Brown, who once again has been brought out of the city into the nature.
I'm feeling so natural. So neat. Okay, my question is, Amber's going to Australia, as we've just announced, in February. I know you've been to Australia, and I think you should give her some advice.
Oh.
What does she need to know?
Oh, this is like your question for us.
Tea tree oil.
Okay.
She needs to bring tea tree oil
Why?
because
Tea tree oil.
because where they're going to be in Australia is going to be far north, and they have so many leeches there, and that's the only thing that keeps them away. You'll be walking through the forest. There's not even a swamp, and then you walk out, and you're like, oh, I have 6 leeches on me now. So bring tea tree oil.
This sounds like a wonderful trip. So excited. No, I am actually super excited. And this one's coming with me. So it's going to be such a good time.
We're going to be safe from leeches because we're on horseback.
You're on
Carrie.
horseback.
Yeah.
I'm very envious. You guys are going to have an incredible time.
Hey,
It should
no,
be
you're
really
not
special.
coming.
But we'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
Okay, my cameo's over.
I don't know if it's over, but we appreciate you
I'm gonna
stepping out of the
tag
tent.
Graham in.
Yeah, you are. All right. Well, I should actually. We should go fishing later. I'm looking at this right now. I'm like, this.
It's perfect for it. The light's perfect for it.
It's true. And you'll go swimming again?
It'd scare all the fish for us.
Yeah. Do you have a Mickey Mouse Band-Aid on?
I do. I cut it open on that metal laugh when I was.
I see.
Are you
What-
sharing with people that you're building a home? I don't think so.
He is.
Yes.
Puppet dog.
So, another question on YouTube. Josie wants to know, is there going to be a holiday episode this year?
A holiday episode.
We haven't done a theme episode
So
in a
we
long
have
time.
talked about that several years in a row, actually. But when we do a holiday episode, we shoot it at a totally different time. So typically our season runs from May until September. And then when we did our Christmas episode, it was shot in February. So if we do a holiday episode, we have to shoot it in the winter, a full year before Christmas. So it would be in January, February of this year, would then air in 2026,
Yeah.
25.
And you know what? It's kind of not that fun shooting a holiday when it's not the holiday.
Yeah, yeah, but I would like to. I
Well-
mean, I would like to do another Christmas episode because it's so fun. And it's a way of doing a standalone,
It's true.
right?
I loved the Halloween episode we did back in season 2. That was so good. Was it the
That was
Hanley
fun.
Barn or something like that? Or?
Yeah, Haunting of the Hanley Barn. And then Cindy came out with a hook.
Yeah, I remember that. It
And,
scared
like,
us all.
Yeah, and we did it. We don't do a lot of night shoots on Heartland. Most of it's during the day. But that episode, we had night shoots because it's scarier when it's dark. And that was like a full night of us just having fun and hanging out in this haunted barn. It was a good time.
So much of being part of this show and coming up, like just being so young through it all, it's so much of it never felt like work. It just felt like a reason to be hanging out together, doing new
That's true.
adventurous things.
And it still is like that. And I think
really
that's
is.
why we've been able to have this much longevity, is that everybody doesn't feel like this is a chore to come to work. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And it's just hanging out with good people. Do we have another question?
What's your best Halloween costume?
Best Halloween costumes. Oh, that's a good one.
I was a cow once, remember?
I know you were. I have pictures of it.
I made a great cow.
Oh yeah. I have photos of that. I was Mother Nature.
Oh yes, that was a
Graham,
good
what were
costume.
you that year?
I don't remember, but I think I have the photo.
Yeah. Okay, look.
What were you?
I was Mother Nature.
She looked like Poison Ivy. It was a good
Yeah,
costume.
yeah, that sorta. And then Carrie was a cow. I feel like you were a disco person you had like a wig on, like an afro wig.
Yeah, you
maybe?
were like a 70s guy or
Yeah.
something.
Maybe. I don't remember either. Or Captain America? Were you Captain America?
That one here, yeah.
Awesome.
No pause.
Uh-uh.
No, I know. Oh, it's so
She
hard.
wants
being a
mama's
dog.
affection.
She's like, you're not paying attention to me. What other stories can we share? I feel like there's just been so much that has happened over the course of, like, it's been a long time. I've known you
It's been a wild ride.
17 years.
Yeah, 17 years now. Jeez, that's crazy.
It is crazy. Graham's still looking for the photo. That would be amazing if he has it on his phone. What's another question?
We have Brooklyn would like to know, Amber from YouTube, what are you doing
Oh, good. Okay. So Brooklyn from YouTube asked what I'm doing in Kentucky in October. So a really good friend of mine, Dan James, amazing, incredible Liberty horse trainer. And we have had the pleasure of having him and his horses on our set a few times. And he travels from Kentucky with his horses, and they are just a pleasure to work with. And so is he, just such a down-to-earth, talented guy who he really is Amy Fleming. Like, he can speak to a horse. And so I'm doing the Liberty Horse Fest with
so
Dan
cool.
James, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. And we're doing a bit of something we've never done before. And Dan and I were talking about, he's like, it's really cool how we set up a shot to have these horses perform on the show, and where they set up the cameras and how they accomplish things that kind of look like they're scarier than they are, or they look like they're more dangerous than they are.
I think that's going to be really thrilling
we're
for the
gonna
audience.
we're going to show people kind of that behind the scenes look, which will be a lot of fun.
Actually, that's one of the things that's always impressed me the most about the crews out here in Alberta is what they're capable of with horses. Like, I don't know if, spoiler for some, but that scene, that one year where Grandpa Jack falls in the chute and the horse rears up,
Oh, yeah,
stomps.
that was last year, I think.
Wow,
last
when that was
season.
cut together, holy
Isn't
cow.
that crazy?
Yeah, and then you do it on the day, and the way it's actually done and how it's spaced out, everything is perfectly safe. No one's
Yeah.
in danger in any way. And then you watch it, and
And
it's
it's
like,
scary. Yeah, a friend of mine, we used her horse for that because he's so well trained, and he's like, his rears are perfect. His name's Matisse. And he just like rears in the same spot every time. So we're like, we want a horse that we know is safe, so that when it's rearing, it's not gonna harm someone. And then we had Jesse Thompson.
Jesse Thompson played Grandpa,
was Grandpa Jack's stunt double. And that was really cool because he looks a lot like Grandpa Jack.
they
when
have a
he's
very
on-
similar physicality.
and I wasn't there that day, but I watched a video of behind the scenes of him like falling down it was cool.
The only hard part was me and Chris are acting, and when Jesse goes down on the ground, when he hits the ground, the first thing he does is gives us a smile and thumbs up. So
you have to just keep it
we had
together,
to
like,
keep it
"Oh,
together for
no."
another few seconds.
So on YouTube, Hummingbird 28 wants to know, Carrie, did you enjoy being dragged by the Longhorn when Caleb and Ty were switching?
Yes, I very
You gotta
very
repeat
much
it.
did. Did I enjoy being dragged by the Longhorn when Ty and Caleb stole it back for Jack? Yes.
That was a fun scene.
I really did. And that's one of those moments too where, like the producers would literally warn the directors, watch out for Carrie and Graham. They tend to play off each other a lot, and things go from like here up to here fast. I just remember Graham and I howling laughing. And it's like, you're not acting at that point. You're just enjoy basically a free toboggan ride via a bull on an icy arena.
That was funny. Actually, the wranglers always tell me whenever I'm on a horse with you, like, they're like, can you please keep an eye on him? And if Carrie takes off like usual, can you just be there in case something happens?
Have I taken off at all lately?
Maybe not lately.
No, I've been good the last few
but
years.
You love to just get up and go.
I do.
And which is great. Like I said, you have so much confidence when you're on a horse, but sometimes it worries the wranglers.
It does. I've been a lot more tame. Now that you guys take me out on weekends, I
well,
get
that's
my
the thing is
adventure out here
that's-
now.
Yeah, you have to know the time and place. Just
Time
like
and
licking your
place.
plate in a restaurant.
Exactly.
You lick your plate at home, and then the restaurant.
They don't mind if I like the plate.
I don't. Wow.
Graham found the cow picture, and now we're going to upload it right now.
Okay, so
I think I'm standing like this too. I'm like, or something.
Graham found this photo of us from Halloween back in probably 2008, 2000, like.
Yeah, it was like 2008.
So, so did you already, like, is it on the, okay, so can people see it right now?
Yeah, and then Graham's going to come in.
This is the photo.
I remember that photo. Oh, so what were you?
I don't know what I was.
Like a 70s
Cowboy. Yeah, like a 70s cowboy or
Cow.
something.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you for that. Some photos from the past.
I
Actually,
think it was a Pedro Pascal costume. That's what you look like.
I feel like we should do a segment one day, and it can be a tea time, where it's photos from the past, and we go through and we like pull up photos.
He has more.
Oh, great.
Load them on an iPad and we can just scroll and
Yeah.
see them all.
And then talk about them and be like,
That's
oh,
a great idea.
this day. That's so funny. Yeah, there's probably a lot of blackmailing photos that are it's on the
Oh,
phone.
yeah.
No, I feel like we were good kids. Like, we had fun, but we were good kids.
We never caused any, we never damaged anything.
No.
We never broke any, we never got in trouble. We
we just had fun, right?
We weren't bad. We were pretty innocent kids.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Can you stop with the paw? Can you stop with this? Oh no. Okay. So apparently, I don't know what you guys can see right now because
We got another photo coming in for y'all. I'm bracing myself to be embarrassed.
Do we even remember the story
oh
behind
my
this?
goodness. Yes.
Yes.
So this was the day that I got my first vehicle.
This was the day?
That's
that I
the
got
Nissan Murano day.
the Murano. So
Oh, we're on the street
I
somewhere,
was
yeah.
super excited. I had just picked up my Murano, I think.
Yeah.
And then right after that, we drove and we went to a restaurant and had dinner.
Didn't
and
you get in an accident or something?
Oh, yeah.
little fender bender. Well, I'm always driving around with the boys, and they're like, "Look at this, look at that," and I might have just slightly rear-ended someone.
But you know what? It was the
I
kids'
would
fault.
drive you guys around. Like
Yeah,
I was
you were
always
the chauffeur.
the chauffeur. Still to this day, I love driving. That's just me. Because I think for me, I always like to be doing something. So if I have to be sitting, I want to be
At least driving.
at least operating a motorized vehicle. But yeah, I love being the chauffeur.
Do you remember Graham's obsession with Rock Band?
Oh yeah. Oh, do you have
It
photos
was like all he wanted to do every
of
day.
when we did the Rock Band? I know I have one somewhere. I do. So we used to always. This is when we all lived in apartments in Calgary. Graham and Carrie and Cindy and I would play Rock Band. And for those of you who don't know, this is like a video. Is it called a video
It's a
game?
video game, I guess, yeah.
A video game with Wii. Was it Wii?
I think it was.
I don't even know. I'm not a gamer at all, so I don't really know. But you got this rock band.
It had a drum
so
set.
it had a drum set. It had a guitar. It had all this stuff. And Graham always played the drums.
Always.
And I don't know. I sang or I played guitar or bass or something. I don't know what I did. Oh no! Now I'm
Oh, we
worried
got
because
another
I have
shot
no
coming in.
idea what this photo is. It probably has to do with one of our rock band days.
Probably a Rock Band photo.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what this is on my face. It's like a mask of some sort.
Oh no!
That's
Oh god, we were so.
that's
weird.
amazing.
Oh yeah, because that was.
I
remember,
love
I
it.
used to be like into boxing and MMA, so I
Yeah.
still had my MMA shorts back then.
That I don't know why you're the only
so
one.
Funny.
Paper bag.
Yeah, I don't know why that was part of it.
Graham
okay.
and I used to be
There you
so
go.
weird.
And you aren't.
I feel like we're leveling out, but yes, we're still weird, but not as weird.
I feel like all actors are weird.
Okay, touche.
Let's
yeah,
just
that's
say
the
that.
truth.
Like, we're all a little bit strange.
It's true.
Because we're theatrical, right? And
We
I think
are.
that in order to be an actor, you have to have that part of you that's willing to just put it all out there. Because you have to be vulnerable as an actor, right? You have to be able to just let go of all your emotions.
For me, especially the more vulnerable scenes, like that hotel room scene, what really helps me is if I can make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
First,
that's
it
probably why we
diffuses-
had a really good time that day.
Yeah.
Because it was just
And then you're free to be vulnerable and take
That's
those
true.
risks.
That's
Yeah.
true. And I think, yeah, that's why this group of friends too is very like out there, because we're all very theatrical and we all have that side where we want to perform.
Yes, we do.
and then it's like a bunch of people all competing to have the spotlight.
Yeah,
A little bit sometimes.
sometimes.
But I feel like we have a really good energy. Nobody has egos. Nobody has that like I'm an actor and
I think that's the most blessed thing about the project that we're all on together. Is that we all just get to enjoy each other. We don't
Yeah.
have to deal with those kind of more challenging personalities.
Well, and I feel like Heartland it's people who are part of the show understand that it's a no ego based place. And it's not.
The
you know,
Teamsters
it's not,
laid that into me right from the get-go. They were like, welcome to Alberta. We don't have a star system. You're either one of us or you're not.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'd rather be one of you.
Yeah.
And then they accept you as family, and then there's no boundaries. You're just together, real
Yeah.
people, authenticity.
Yeah. No, and I
Awesome.
fully agree with that.
No.
Oh, what are you two look like you're up to something over there.
Somebody asked what your favorite go-to karaoke songs are.
Can't remember the name of the person.
Okay, somebody asked what our go-to karaoke songs are.
It was the one from Rock Band for me. How's that go?
Journey?
A jukebox hero with stars in his eyes. That's the one.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't love karaoke. I find I would rather watch people
Yeah.
perform on the stage.
I think it's incredible you even like sing. Like I think it's amazing. Regardless of being an actor and a performer, the thought of singing publicly is actually terrifying to me. So every time you and Sean do it, I'm like, this is amazing.
Well, thank you. Singing is not something that I love to do.
No, scary,
Like
right?
it's like a whole different. I love to sing on my own.
Sure,
like
right?
like when I'm out with my animals, I'm always singing to them. But it's like, yeah, it's a whole different thing to get up on stage and sing, for sure. It's like a different part of vulnerable.
Very, yeah. Very exposed.
Yes.
Nowhere to hide. It's all you.
Yes.
Trish is just tuning in and wants to know, is this live right now?
Trish, who's just tuning in, wants to know, is this live?
It's
Yes, we are live. What time is it?
We've been going for almost 50 minutes.
All right. Okay. So yes, we are, for those who are just tuning in, we are currently live at the river. And we were saying that we just love, there's something about summer in Alberta that you have to make use of every moment of it. And it's been a while since I've done a live with you guys, and Carrie was around this weekend, and I said, Carrie, you want to just have a little tea time with me? We didn't bring tea, but I'm hydrating. little fact about me that some might not know, I don't drink water. I don't like water. I don't ever drink water.
So weird.
I know. So I drink a lot of like iced chai tea lattes. I live off milk. And
It's
ice
true.
caps. And currently I'm trying to hydrate. So I filled my bottle with about this much water, and then I went with this much watermelon juice because that's what I decided for today. So I've got water. It's just disguised a little bit.
All right. We got a question from Barbara Collins on YouTube.
All right.
Is the food real when you guys sit around the table to eat? And if it is, what is your favorite thing to eat?
Okay, so is the food real when we eat on
Barbara.
Heartland? From Barbara. And if it is, what's our favorite thing to eat?
Because of Amber, she told me this in season 2. The first time I sat down in a dinner scene, they brought the food out. Before we had started, I was like, oh, this is exciting. And I started kind of just being like, we're allowed to eat.
You were just like,
And Amber was like, the cherry pie commercial that you did.
Yep.
You told me
I can't
that
believe you remember that.
you ended up having to eat like 11 cherry pies in a row because she chose on action to eat the whole pie. So in scenes, I may or may not put one thing in my mouth the entire time, but I almost don't eat because I don't want to be locked into eating a giant
Here's
meal.
the thing too. So when you watch a dinner scene, it usually takes us about 2 to 3 hours to complete that scene. And so whatever you choose to eat, you have to be matching each take. So there's this thing called continuity. And when I say, hey Caleb, how was your day? And I put a bite in my mouth, I have to do that every time I say that line. And we might do the scene like, I don't know, 50 times by the time you get around the whole table. And so I've learned too that you pick wisely. So I don't necessarily always eat things that I enjoy the most. I eat things that I know are sustainable over a 4-hour period. You also don't really want to pick things that don't taste good cold because I mean, they do reheat it once in a while, but the majority of the food that you're eating is out there for 4 hours. So I usually pick things like salad because I know that I could eat salad for 4 hours and it's fine when it's not warm and all those kinds of things. I'll also pick things like on this line, just so it doesn't look like I'm just eating salad, on this specific line, I'm gonna take a bite of carrot or chicken or whatever it might be. And then on this line, I'll just switch to salad and then eat salad for the rest of the scene. But you have to remember which lines you take a bite on
Yep.
and what's on your fork. Like, it's not just when you take a bite, it's like what's on your fork, because if they cut back to you and you've got chicken on your fork and then they cut back again and it's lettuce, it's gonna look silly. So it's kind of, you start to understand how to make it make more sense, and by picking the same food group each time, something that's easy to eat, and
Something
also
that's easy to chew and swallow.
that's true too, because there's sometimes when you'll be like trying to talk and you've got something in your mouth that just doesn't work. So another thing is, when it's on other people's close-ups, you don't have to eat, and I recommend that you don't eat, because then you're full. So it's like, if it's a shot just on Carrie and we're still going through the scene, I'm not gonna be eating during his close-up. I'll just hold off and I'll say my lines, and then when they can see me, then I go back to eating.
However, one of the big perks is if they do bring out a big dinner, and they usually have steak and everything else, at the very end, if you ask politely, they'll throw some in a doggy bag for you to take home.
See, they always give me a doggy bag for my
The
animals.
doggies.
Like if we have steaks or whatever, because a lot of times the food's been sitting out for 4 hours.
No one can
So
really eat
no
it,
one
right?
other
It's
than
animal.
Carrie wants
true,
to
I
take
do
it
take it
home. And so then they'll just put it in a big bag, and I'll have lots of steaks for the puppies, or I bring home the vegetables and stuff for my chickens and all that.
So Elizabeth says, so I'm thinking it's probably not real wine that Lou is drinking at times.
Elizabeth wonders if it's real wine that Lou is drinking, but no, we have no alcohol on set. So anytime you see one of the actors drinking wine or beer, even if it's in a beer bottle, it's either non-alcoholic beer, or sometimes they just put water in it.
Yeah.
And the wine is grape juice. And they have a concoction. It's not just grape juice. They mix it with some things so that it has the right color. I don't know what they mix it with, but apparently it doesn't taste the greatest.
No, it doesn't taste that great. I've had it a couple times, but yeah, I can't imagine. Imagine if it was real wine. Oh, that would be a terrible day.
Take after take.
Take after take.
They would just get better and better as the game went on. You're not loving this at all.
This dog is the ultimate
Oh,
affection
she
machine.
just loves hugs.
Could you get
So-
more cuddled?
We got another one?
Hannah, the writer on YouTube, wants to know, what acting tips do you have for somebody who wants to pursue acting?
What acting tips do we have for someone who wants to pursue acting?
Remember that acting is an art form that you can pursue with a lot of ease in the modern world. You don't have to give up or change everything about your life to start exploring it.
That's a good point. Whoa.
I just got
Bless
sneezed
you.
on.
Yeah, and I would say it's also not an easy thing if
Yeah.
you want to go into the world of film and television. So one of the best things to do is to explore your local theater companies and things like that, and make sure it's something that you really want to do.
Yeah.
And that's also such a great foundation for memorization and getting your stage fright out and that kind of thing. And then you can network in that community.
And I mean, we all have hardware and cameras now just accessible, even on a phone. Start with your friends, make short
That's a
films.
great idea.
Explore skits.
Yep. No, that's a really great idea. And just write your own stuff and try it out and see if it's really for you. And then there's a lot of outlets that you can do. And like Carrie said, you don't have to give up everything, because it's not a sure thing, especially right
No.
off the bat. So you
Truly.
usually always have to have another job.
And it's one of those things, like, if you dabble with it and you don't love it, then leave it. Because if you want to pursue it as a career, like, there are, for most of us, some pretty major ups and downs. And you have to really love what the film industry is.
Because I think Heartland is a rarity. You know, there's
is.
not very many projects out there that go for even 3 to 4 years, let alone 18.
This is extraordinarily lucky. Like,
So it's
1 in a billion opportunity.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's not, like, don't think that that's what acting is all the time. So I think it's something that if you're passionate about it, just explore in different ways and network and meet people in your area that can help you out with it, and go from there.
Last question. A few people have asked, what breed is Autumn?
Okay, so people want to know more about Autumn, what breed she is. I'll tell her story real quick because it's worth telling. Last year, last September, Katie and I went to a spay and neuter clinic for the Canadian Animal Assistance Team. And there was lots of stray dogs kicking around. We weren't allowed to adopt these stray dogs. They were just kind of everywhere. But I might have fallen in love with one of them.
Aww.
So I was able to reach out to the town that we were at and get special permission to take one of them home. And she has been an incredible dog, right from the get-go. So she was just a feral dog, 6 months old when I first met her. And there was something about, I came around the corner and there was a truckload of puppies basically that they'd gathered up to bring to this spay or neuter clinic, and they were just feral pups, and her brothers and sisters, and I saw her, like it wasn't anything about the other ones. I saw her and I was like, that's my dog. And I turned to Katie and I was like, that is my dog. Like it was a weird feeling. And I don't say that. Like I'm a big animal lover, but I don't have that connection all the time. And I just felt it. And then we brought her in, and my job in the beginning was I would sedate the dogs and get their weights and get them ready for surgery. And we were leaving that day. And so I brought her in and I weighed her, and I was like, I was holding off giving her sedation because I knew that if she was spayed that day, I wouldn't have been able to take her with me. And I just kept holding off and stalling. And then I went to the organizers and I was like, is there any way we can adopt these puppies? And they're like, well, we're technically not supposed to. We just come in, spay and neuter. And they're like, but let me make some calls. So I was like, okay, don't sedate her yet. And so then ended up just bringing her home. And once we were home, we got her spayed there. And she's just been the most incredible dog. And she's very, like I always think, my very first dog was from a reserve. Her name was China. And she was my life. She was, you met China.
First day.
The first day I adopted her.
I've never seen you so like, this is the thing that has to happen next right now. That was, yeah, it was very serendipitous, that whole,
and
just
I
you
remember,
arriving
like,
with her. And
your golden retriever personality, like I show up with this dog and Carrie got so excited. He's like, a playmate! Like he was just
poor
like
dog, I
so
know,
excited,
so
came
excited.
running up to me, but she was a very fearful dog. She
She'd
had been through
a
a lot. She was 2 years old when I got her. There was some history with her, and so she was very afraid of people. And Carrie comes running up, and I always called her the bat on the leash because she was this little black dog. And she would just freak out, and she'd be on the leash, and she'd be trying to get away.
China.
And Carrie's running. I'm like, no, Carrie, you can't. This is not your playmate right now. Like, you have to earn her trust. And I think over time you did. And
oh yeah, we became pretty close.
Yeah.
But you also, like, you changed that dog's life. Like,
she's pretty special.
she had a good life, yeah.
And so then I met Autumn, and I just felt a very similar connection.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
I was like,
beautiful.
this is my dog. So, and here she is.
And honestly, just the chillest disposition out of
Yeah.
any dog.
And she's just such a good girl, and I'm glad she's not a feral dog anymore.
Do you
'cause
know
she just,
what breeds
Oh
might be
yeah,
in
that
her?
was the question. So I believe that she's Great Pyrenees mostly, and then there's probably a lot of other breeds in there. We don't know for sure, but we're thinking maybe some Aussie or Border Collie, and I think she's got a bit of Husky in her because she will howl every now and then. And her siblings had a bit of Husky look to them, or Malamute kind of look. So I really don't know, but I would say Great Pyrenees for sure. And she has that loyal, kind of guardian dog feel, don't you? Oh, I know. But she's just been wonderful, and she fit in right away. You know, I've got chickens that roam the property, and she got along really well with Rain, my other dog, and and the horses. She just fit in right away and was like, okay, I live here now, and you're my people, and
Yeah, it's
so,
funny
yeah.
how well the three of them do together.
Yeah.
4 of them.
Yeah, you're a very good girl. So yeah, all right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our little tea time here with special guest Carrie Gaines.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being a part of this, and I'm really looking forward to spending the rest of the weekend here.
This is going to be
'Cause
awesome.
This is every once in a while, and we were just talking about this because we're all very busy people, but every once in a while you just need to make time for nothing.
Yes.
And just to get together with your friends, and that's really, at the end of the day, your refuel, your time to just remember what's important and spend it with each other. So very shortly, we've got a bunch of our friends meeting us here, and
can't
we're
wait
gonna
for
have a good time. So maybe if you're lucky, we'll get some videos up tomorrow of some of the shenanigans we got into.
I'll
but-
share with you guys the feast we're going to have tonight.
Oh,
This is going to be something.
I'm excited. This is year 2 of this this masterpiece. So
The seafood boil.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us.
Bye, guys.
And I can imagine hanging out in a better place. We're going to have to do this more often. Take care. And yeah, and thank you, Graham and Katie, for being our tech
thanks,
team
Graham.
today.
Thanks, Katie.